today we have a box. So I can't get boxes from Japan right now, so I thought, even though we haven't done one of those in a while, we would do a Funko box, because I get some of them sometimes, and I thought this would be kind of fun, because there is some pretty cool stuff in here that I'm looking forward to. So let's go ahead and see what we got in here. But before we get into that, if you do enjoy this video and you want to see more like this, not only Funko, but anime figures in general, subscribe. You can see those as soon as I put new videos out, and hopefully, before too long, we'll be getting some of those cool figure boxes back from Japan. We're just waiting on things change. So I got this box from Funko Shop, which is their official store. So no real like bonuses or anything, and I was just trying to knock off some of the new lines and everything. But there is a few different lines in here that I think are pretty cool. So we'll look at those and everything. We do have a box. We have another box. And then we have two big things in here. So let's actually look at the two big things first. So the first one here is actually one that I kind of skipped on for a little bit, but I knew I'd just pick it up whenever I ordered a larger package. And that is this Tengen and his wives from San Diego Comic-Con down here. So this was an exclusive for San Diego Comic-Con. It's a bit of a bigger pop. It's actually a pop moment. This is pretty cool. I think it turned out really well. We'll get this out of the box and look at it here in a little while. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty nice. I'm very happy with that one. And then the real big boy here, this is from Chainsaw Man. This is the Pochita 10-inch pop. So I'm kind of mixed on 10-inch pops, to be honest. Sometimes I don't think they are that good of an idea, but I do think this one kind of works because it's like a not really life-size, but closer to life-size version of Pochita here. Now this one actually is a weird one because it got a exclusive like release in overseas stores, but it never got an exclusive release in the US, except for it's available on Funko's website. So if you want to buy this, you'll have to get it through Funko's website. No other stores ended up grabbing it. So Target didn't, Chalice didn't, none of those other ones got it. So if you want this one, you'll have to order it through Funko's website because it technically is an exclusive. Okay, now on to these guys, and these are where the cool stuff is, or at least the new stuff is. So let's go ahead and look at these here, and I'll say this, there is some big Demon Slayer stuff in here if you're a fan of that. But first off here, let's look at this one. This is Doma from the new line here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna bring you forward so that you can see these a little bit better. There we go, that's better. So this is Doma here, and with the new movie and everything, I think this is a really cool pop to have. Interesting thing about this one, and we'll look at it here in a minute, but it is in his beanbag here from actually back in the Swordsmith Village arc, which is technically what we're going off of for here. They can't really go ahead in the story to make any pops. They have to go along with where they're at, and right now, they're still in Swordsmith Village. Now this is a neat one, kind of a, you know, side character type thing, but this is Chachamaru? It's just a little kitty. It's the ones where he's got the little thing on his, wrapped around him to where he can kind of talk with all the people and transport back to the two demons that help them out. I'm forgetting their names, but pretty cool. I'm very happy to have him. I like little side characters like that. I think that's what kind of makes Funko special. And then this is a big one here. A lot of people were excited about this one. This is Tanjiro here, and this is kind of a special one here. He's doing one of his moves there. I like that a lot. I am curious because the one we got back with the Entertainment District pop line, it was very disappointing, to be honest, because it was basically, it couldn't stand up. The sun god one, whatever, with the big ring around his back, that pop was so bad, and I was so disappointed in it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this one compares here. And then next up here, we do have, this is one that's gonna be popular, I think, right now, and that is Akaza here. This is pretty much, I think, probably one of his best pops you're gonna get, because really there's not a lot you can do with Akaza. I mean, you can put like the, you know, like some molds around him, make it look like he's swinging and it's got like a cloud going behind him or something. But really, Akaza in his best should just be kind of basic, because he doesn't have a sword, he doesn't have any kind of cool weapons. It's just basically his fist, and that's what makes him great. All right, finally here for the Demon Slayer line, at least, is Nezuko. And this is a fun one because it is where she finally got her little tassel or bamboo stick or whatever. It came out of her mouth. She didn't have to keep that in her mouth anymore, and she conquered the sun here. So pretty neat. We'll look at that one here in a minute. Finally, one that is not Demon Slayer, kind of one that I was shocked that we even got, because we kind of got one like this, but it's the Penguin from Spy Family, and he's all tore up. So, pretty neat, but yeah, something to add to the collection, I guess. Okay, so we'll just start with the Spy Family line, then we'll do Demon Slayer, then we'll end with the big Pochita there. So, little Penguin here. We've gotten a little thing for all of them. Here's what you get for the Penguin. It's just the Penguin. Now, why I said I wasn't a big fan of this pop is because we got Anya with the Penguin, which was a good pop. And then we just now got a pop of the Penguin whenever he gets tore up. Why? Like, why did we need this? You don't have Damien, you don't have Becky, you don't have all of these other characters that we could have gotten, but you make the Penguin. So, do I think this is a good pop? Yeah, I mean, it does what it's meant to do, but, like, why do we need this? So, okay. Now, before we move on here, I will go ahead and show for this one in Chainsaw Man. Here is the collection with the Penguin added in. We're still missing the chase for Bond, and we're still missing the chase for Yor. We'll make a full video when we do get those, but as for right now, we're still missing a little bit from that collection. Alrighty, let's look at some Demon Slayer ones here. Now, two of the pops here are what they call a Pop Plus. These are a little bit bigger, they're a little bit more expensive, so we'll look at those last, but we will look at these three first, and then we'll end with Tengen. So these three are just the standard pops, and let's start off with the one that you're probably the least excited for, so I know I'm ruining it. You could go ahead and want to see the cool ones, but hey, we gotta look at all of them. We gotta see what the line looks like in total. And first up here, we have Chachimura here, and I think it does just fine. I think this is a solid little pop here. I'm not disappointed in it in any way. It basically does exactly what I wanted it to. Now, one of the pops that we got a while back was the Mighty Mouse, and I thought the Mighty Mouse was kind of a disappointment because he was really big, he really didn't fit alongside of anything, but because it's a mouse, and I think you could have just made it a tiny little add-on with one of the Tengen ones, but no, we got a full-size mouse that didn't really make any sense. This one makes more sense because the size of it really fits beside a normal pop, so I'm happy with this one. Next up here, let's look at Nezuko here. Now, this is one that I'm looking forward to because we don't get mouths on our Funko Pops that often, and this one did get a mouth, and I think it's warranted because, like, Nezuko's smile in this scene is a pretty important part. So I think it's pretty good. You do get a little base with it to help her stand. Let's get that out of there. And yeah, I think that's really cute there. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to have her head kind of tilted or if that's just mine. Either way, I think it's cute. You do have the blood on her robe here, which is, that's accurate. She's missing one of her feet or socks and everything there. accurate, and I think the face looks really cute. I do like that they have started giving Nezuko the pink eyes like she should have. I think that works. I think it just looks, this is a nice little pop. Is it my favorite Nezuko? No, because I think some of the other ones are a little bit more iconic. The original one, the one to where she's in the demon form, I think both of those are iconic, and this one is just a solid pop from a solid scene, if you really like that scene. Now, here we have one that a lot of people are going to be excited for, and that is Akasa here. If you've watched the new movie, no spoilers here, but you'll know he's a pretty big part of it. I don't think that's a spoiler because he's in all the posters. But we do have a special base with this one, and I'll go ahead and show that before I put it on here. And I think it's pretty cool using that move that we see him use, being able to see it there. I think that's pretty cool instead of just doing the clear one like we got with Nezuko over here. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. And I think overall, this is a nice pop. You know, is it the flashiest pop we've ever seen? Well, no, but I think the detail in the lines, and especially in the body here, it's well done. I think the coloring looks really good. We do get the little markings in the eyes. I like to see that. Some of them we don't. Seems like they've kind of fixed that on these. So overall, I think it's okay. One thing that I will point out here is that you can see a little bit of paint go into his hair here and here and a little bit up here. It is not terrible, and from a distance, it's not gonna look bad. And really, due to these being so crisp, the outfit looking so crisp, I don't really want to complain too much. That might be a default on mine, but it is there. So not perfect, but pretty good overall. Now let's get into the pop pluses here. These are the ones that are a little bit, bigger, a little bit more expensive. They should be doing a little bit more. They're not as big as a pop premium, but they're doing a little bit more. So I kind of have a little bit higher expectations for these. They should be doing a little bit more so that they can justify that higher price tag. And this is the one I'm most skeptical on. This is Doma, and I will say right off the bat, he is pretty hefty here. But you can see here, he is on his little beanbag here. So if you're hoping to have a Doma in an action pose, not yet. Hopefully someday, but not today. But we do get him in his little beanbag here that we see him in. Now I will say, those eyes, those are great. Those are fantastic. I love them quite a bit. The detail and the colors there and everything, that looks really good. I don't see any of the paint problems that I saw with Akasa here. This one just overall looks really well done. And I think here, this just goes to show you that they can do pretty good. Now we do get a little hat on this one. I'm curious to see what a full fighting pose Doma will look like. There's a lot you can do with him, in my opinion, with all the ice and everything and the fans. So I'm looking forward to that one. Not to say this one is a bad one. It definitely fills the void of not having the Upper Moon 2 right now. But it definitely is a placeholder for right now for what I assume one day will be a pretty cool pop that they'll put out. But for now, we got the beanbag version. Now finally here, the one that I am kind of the most excited about here is Tanjiro. Now we've got a lot of Tanjiros, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think we've gotten like a really good one in a while. So I'm hoping that this one really takes advantage of that and we get a really cool one to be able to display him with. And I tell you what, that looks pretty cool. Let's see if it stands up. It should. Yeah, not even an issue. That is pretty cool. I love the detail here of, like they've painted some detail into the flames here so you can see them a little bit better. It's not just the translucent. They painted some white there. They painted some white here. Makes it stand out a little bit better. Not only that, but the blood here. We do get a mouth in there. and then his mark and everything. It just looks really nice. They even give us the detail of some blood on his back there. And while this doesn't have his standard outfit, with the robes and everything, for this moment anyway, it is correct. So I like this a lot. I think this is far better than the other one that we got, which I'll just show it to you real quick. I think it puts this pop that we got a year or so back, I think it puts it to shame. This one was what I thought was a pretty good pop, despite it not standing up. I thought the mold was pretty good, but as you can see now, even over that 1 year gap, it has greatly improved. And I do think this is now the best Tanjiro that we have gotten. I know some people will say, oh, it's that one where he's got the dragon flying beside him. I don't agree. I think this one for now is the best one. I do think there's some really cool ideas that they could do for the future, but for now, this one's my favorite. Finally here, before we wrap up with Demon Slayer, let's look at this Tengen with his wives here. Now, like I said, this was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and this was rumored for a long time, actually, and there was even rumors that it had been canceled because it was never coming out, and no one ever knew where it was at. And then all of a sudden, bam, it's for San Diego Comic-Con, which is fine, and that works. Now, the thing with this pop is yes, I'll be first to say, I think it looks cool. I really do. I think this looks really nice, and I think if you don't own any of his wives, the solo pops, I think this is the pop to get. I don't think you should waste your time trying to get all 3 of them individually. I think just buy this, because it looks really cool. And even then, I think if you wanted to skip buying a Tengen, just buy this, and it looks really cool. You get 4 pops in one. You can knock off 4 really iconic characters there, and I think they're done really well. The detail in all of their outfits here look really well done. You even get the cleavage on these 2 really obvious, and she's got it too. So, and it's not just them, it's these little posts here and the chair. I think overall it does look good. Here's where my problem with this pop though is. This is a $40 pop. So yes, you're getting 4 characters in 1 pop, and does it make sense? Yes. Does it still kind of sting to pay $40 for something like this? A little bit, but I'm not going to hate on it too much because, it does exactly what I hoped for it to do. The chair's well detailed. Value-wise, it makes sense, but because I already own all 3 of these female characters, I already own a good amount of Tengen. If I wasn't trying to complete the set, I couldn't find myself buying this pop by itself. Finally here, let's do one final one here, and a big boy. It is Pochita here from Chainsaw Man. Now there is one other Chainsaw Man pop that I am missing, but otherwise, this will complete my Chainsaw Man collection pretty much up to date. So I still gotta find that Power with Meowie flocked version, but otherwise it is a complete set. And let's check him out here. Let's check out how they did here. So we do have Pochita here, and he is in his sitting pose like we got with the standard. And I will say, first off, you can carry him pretty well. So if you want to just carry him around, you can. Why? I don't know, but you could. Now, does he sit very well? Not really, but neither does the standard one. The standard one never stood up very well, but this one kind of does. I think he's very cute. There's no, a lot of these, whenever you will make them like this, they'll have some paint, like how we saw with Akaza there. You'll see some of that here or here, and I don't see any of that. All the lines look really crisp and everything. Some people complain that you have this obvious seam here. I don't know how you would avoid that. I think that's just something you're gonna get. I think he looks pretty good though. I think it's a cute little Pochita pop, and if you're a fan of this anime, if you're a fan of Pochita, I think this is worthy pickup. I'm gonna be honest. I can justify not very many 10-inch pops, but I can justify this one more than really any of the Demon Slayer ones. So that means like Rengoku, Tengen, Nezuko, Tanjiro. I don't see the reason to buy those, but I can understand this one more than those. This one at least kind of, I feel like I've got a Pochita now, like a full-size Pochita, even though obviously it needs to be a little bit bigger, but I'm just saying. And real quick, before I do move on to the ending here, this is real quick. I'll show you a real quick look at my collection so far with the Chainsaw Man stuff. Pretty cool. I'm happy with this collection. I don't think we really need anything else right now. Next year, make some for the movie, but I think season 1, we're done. We don't need any more for season 1. I think you've done it. You proved your point. You made plenty of pops. You made maybe a few too many of certain pops, but overall, you did fine. Wait. Hold off on the line. There's other lines you can make pops from. You don't have to keep making it for Chainsaw Man. We get it. You like it. But I enjoyed this line so far. Just hope they don't overwhelm us with any more from season 1. Don't do what you did for Demon Slayer. Okay, so here's all the pops we picked up today. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 standard ones, a Moment, and then a big fella here. I think it's a solid lineup here. I think these all turned out pretty good. Like I said, just some that I don't really see the reason to have or have something released for, notably the Penguin, Pochita, and these. But I think all of these do a good job, even though I do wish Doma was a different pose. But like I said, for now, that's what we're going to get. So I think all these are fine. I'm very happy to add these to my collection. Let me know. What do you think of these? Do you think that we should have gotten different stuff for Demon Slayer? Demon Slayer is going to get a few more this year, seemingly. We do have a few other ones that are going to be coming out. I actually have 2 of them that we'll look at in a different video, but I'm waiting on one other one here. We do have the Christmas Pops there. So I have thoughts on those that we're going to save for a different video. But overall, I think this is a solid lineup. Let me know what you think. Have you picked up any Funko Pops lately? And would you like to see more videos like this in the meantime before I can get more anime figure videos? But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you guys very soon. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.